What's up guys, I'm George Lahab and you're watching Maker's Best Friend. Today I'm going to show you how you can make your very own corked dartboard. Check it out. I started by cutting a 4x8 of 1/4 inch pine down to a 30 by 36 inch rectangle. I then cut down 3/4 inch pine wood that was 1.5 inch wide to fit the sides of this base. I cut each of the ends at a 45-degree angle so that the ends would meet and have a frame-like design. At the end of these cuts, I made sure that the borders fit the base that I had cut out earlier. After knowing everything fit well together, I sanded everything down before I started gluing. At this point, I actually measured out 3 holes on the bottom border, evenly spaced on the left and right sides of the border. I then measured the diameter of the cork and drilled out holes for the corks to fit into this bottom border. This is going to allow us to actually hold the darts on these corks that are sticking out from the board while the dartboard is not being used. Something to keep in mind is that I didn't drill through the entire border because I wanted the glue that I'm going to be using to connect the base of these borders to have full contact across the entire border, so I only drilled a little bit into this border for these corks. At this point, I'm able to glue down all of the corks into these holes and then glue down the borders onto the base and clamp them down. Before beginning to glue down all the corks into the base inside of the borders, I wanted to make sure that the dartboard was placed in the center inside the entire sheet of wood so that all the corks would be placed evenly around it. At this point, I wanted to show you that the corks can actually be laid out based on your own types of design. So you can lay them parallel against the base, or you can actually angle them based on the design that you're going to like. For me, I'm going to actually place them angled, which will actually leave some gaps. These gaps could be covered by cutting the corks into smaller pieces and filling in the gaps, or you can actually get some rollable cork, which we could have laid out prior to this entire process on the base so that it is underneath the cork, and then the gaps within the corks would actually blend in with this base. So at this part, I'm actually going to be gluing all the corks onto the base. So to give you an idea, it actually took about 400 corks to fill in the entire base here. So you might be wondering, where do I actually get all of these corks? I actually bought them from Amazon. I'm going to put a link below where you can actually buy these recycled corks. I bought them in packs of 50. If you can get them for more, for cheaper, I would definitely opt in for that because again, it did take 400 corks to fill in this entire process. Another tip to keep in mind is that when I was doing this, I would actually put in corks in one corner and glue them down up to a certain point, and then move to another corner and glue those down and move it all around the corners. And then I waited a day before I actually put in all the corks that would actually push up against the dartboard. The reason I did this was because if I laid all the corks down at once, they'd actually be pushing up against each other and against the dartboard. It would actually push the corks up, and therefore it's not making full contact when we're trying to glue it down. And along with my new channel name, here's a quick dog cam with my dog Cyrus working with me in the workshop. And just to let you guys know, this is the most time-intensive part for putting the project together. If you're planning to actually lay down the corks parallel or ensure that there's no gaps, you might be able to save some time by actually spreading the glue across the base and then laying the corks on top of the glue instead of having to glue each of them individually. But I like gluing them individually because I know I'm making complete contact with the cork and the base. I'm also going to link below the dartboard that I used, which I also purchased from Amazon, below for your reference. If you're planning to actually cut the corks so that they fit into tight spaces, make sure you're using a very flat, sharp blade. I used scissors before and that actually cut the corks and made them kind of shred so there's pieces everywhere. But when I use this blade that I use from my actual 3D printer for cutting 3D prints, it actually cut way better. So if you use this or any type of flat blade, it should really do the trick for cutting these corks. When I filled in the rest of the base with the corks that's pushing up against the actual dartboard, I made sure I laid something heavy on top of them so that the corks would stay nice and tight inside there. A case of beer you have lying around the house will work fine for this. So now you can actually see what it looks like with all the corks actually laid out in this diagonal pattern that kind of shapes as a diamond design. Now that we finished with all the corks, we can now add the mount to the back of the base. I'm just using the actual attachment that was provided with this dartboard. So again, if you want to see this dartboard I'm using this product, check out the link below. Now I'm going to show you guys an optional step. The way I've laid out the corks, the dartboard will stay in the center of this frame and be supported by the corks and the pressure pushing up and around it. I'm going to actually lay down some Velcro straps, glue one side to the base and glue the other side to the dartboard so that this adds some more stability for the dartboard sticking to the base. This will also allow me to replace this dartboard down the line after a lot of use. Make sure you wipe away any excess glue underneath the Velcro so that the dartboard doesn't actually stick to the base. And I'm also going to lay some weights on top of this so that it's flush against the base. At this point, all you have to do is make sure you're hanging this on a stud inside of your wall. And then connect the darts to the corks that are sticking outside of the frame, and then you're done.
Thanks again for watching this video, guys. I hope it was helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and like below. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and comment below. I'm also planning to do a live Twitch stream for this project where I'm going to be doing a different design next week. So if you want to come and check that out, ask me any questions, give me any suggestions, I'm going to announce that through Instagram and through YouTube sometime next week. So keep an eye out for that. And I've also just created a Patreon account. So if you guys want to support me and my products, go ahead and check out that link below. Thanks again for watching, guys.